Okay, these are the Barbie dolls I had growing up as a kid. This was my very first Barbie I ever bought. Her name is Tropical Miko. I made her dress. It is homemade. I did reroot her because I played with her so much, and then I tried to draw her hair, so it got fried. So anyway, as an adult, I've now rerooted it and made it much thicker. No, I just started Brad's Lip Logical, so you are getting the video that you requested. And I said this years ago. If people wanted a certain video, just request. So this was my very first Barbie I ever bought. Tropical Miko. Now, these dolls were older. I did not get them the year that they come out. I'm going to get into that in a minute. So this was my first. Then Island Fun Barbie was my first blonde Barbie I ever got. As you can see, yes, she has been rerooted as well, but hair that matches her collar. I mean, the original collar, but it's just longer and lots thicker because the heifer was bald. Anyway, those two I had. First, it was her. Um, and then Peaches and Cream. I had her, but when my parents got divorced, now she is a reroot. I rerooted all my childhood Barbies. So her hair is super long, super thick, Peaches and Cream. Um, she's not wearing her original outfit. Yes, I do have it. Her original outfit is right here. And I do have her belt. So here's her gorgeous outfit with chiffon. I do have the belt and shoes. Rocker Barbie was the Barbie I wanted so bad. Oh my God. But guess what happened? I remember seeing other kids that had her, but I did not know she was old because they didn't undress them. They didn't rechange them. Having vocal issues. So I'm going to set them up here so I can get up here. See my cat? She's on my frozen pillowcase my mom got me. So here we go. It gets real. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're making me go back. Back in time, back in time, back in time. Okay. Whew. Yes, I put on my pajamas because we're getting personal. We're getting deep down personal. Okay? So I did say this video was not for kids because my life growing up was not easy. It was very difficult. All right, look, spill the tea in all capital letters, honey. Go get you a cup of tea. You might need a cup of tea or something stronger after this. So we'll start with Tropical Miko. Let me think. Do I want to go with her? Start with her? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because it's weird. What happened? My camera stopped working? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Oh my God, what is happening? Okay, there's something going on with Facebook. It's acting crazy. I'm sorry, I'm getting anxiety because I've never done this before. Okay, so where I grew up in Littleton, North Carolina. Um, that's where my father was born. That's where he's from. And so some of my cousins, a lot of my cousins didn't play with dolls. So my grandmother did. They weren't real Barbies, they were these clones or something. So anyway, they were older than me. They were a lot older than me. So when we would go to their house, I would play with their old Barbies. So my cousin Jessica she had Tropical Miko. She had Tropical Barbie. She had Peaches and Cream. She had Barbie and the Rockers. And I loved curly hair. I loved curly hair. And I wanted the Rocker Barbie so bad. Well, this was the thing. Her Barbies were in this huge toy box in her room. Huge toy box. And I thought they were still new. I didn't know the dolls were could be 10 years old. They looked new. So, we played her Barbies. So when I got Miko, she was $5 and something. You know how Eckerd's, those drugstores, they have Barbies in there for years. Well, throughout the late 90s, they would have Barbies in there for 5, 6 years. So when I got Miko, she was on clearance for $4.97. I wanted her because of her long black hair. I didn't really look at a lot of toys when I was a kid because we lived way out in the country. We did not go to, we didn't go to, they didn't have a Walmart. They didn't have a Target. They had a Rose's discount store. God, I'm having to think back when I was a little bitty kid. They had just opened the Ames, but it was like Kmart and Rose's basically. I mean, this was a very small country town. And so when I got her, she came in her swimsuit, and I remember using pieces of scrap fabric my mom used for quilts, and I would make her an outfit. As you see, I did make her this outfit. So, all right. So that was all good. My mom, I remember going to the store called Eagles, and they had some Elvis Presley fashion dolls. And I wanted Elvis because he had black hair. He was cute. I just have a thing for black hair. Men with black hair, Lord. I have heart palpitations. Anyway, so I remember my dad gave me and my brother $50 a piece for Christmas. I know, right? He was so cheap. Oh, it should have been 100. So my dad gave me and my brother $50 a piece for Christmas. Now, as a child, no, we're getting deep, okay? So here comes the tea, all right? Here comes the tea. You know what I'm saying? This is the real tea. It's actually kind of painful. I suffered from emotional anxiety since I was a child. And the thought of my dad coming because my parents were separated. They were not together. My parents were separated. Um, so he lived in Roanoke Rapids. My mother was in, at this time we were in living in Macon, North Carolina. Very, very small town. It's so small you can go right through it. It's just very little. We lived down a this paved road that was country. It was a farm. There were cows. The neighbor, huge, huge farm. He had a peach orchard thing. Look, Tony says, "How old are you? Which Barbie from the '80s you got as a child?" Okay, when I was a kid, the '80s Barbies were not around. Okay, so anyway, 1994 is my year. And so I had to get leftover Barbies. You have to go back. I had to play with leftover Barbies from my cousins. They were older. So the stores we went to, they had Barbies, like 3 or 4 Barbies from the 80s. And this was like in the 90s. So the difference between like Durham, right here in Durham, North Carolina, this is the city. This is the heart of North Carolina. So the stores are constantly updated with new toys. Well, growing up in the country, you don't have a toy store. You didn't have that. You had um like those discount stores and drugstores. They would carry, oh my gosh, Island Fun Barbie. I got her at Rite Aid drugstore. Miko was Eckerd. And by the time Miko come out, they had Pearl Beach Barbie. She was the new Barbie at the time, Pearl Beach Barbie. Miko had been setting up under those other dolls, those other Beach Barbies. There were only 2 of her. So she had been there for over probably almost 10 years, 7 or 8 years. She had been in that drugstore. So, yeah. She was 86. Yes, I got her 94. But anyway, moving on with Island Fun Barbie. At this time, oh my God, Island Fun Barbie. I do not remember what Barbie was out when she came out because she came out a year after, but I know that now as an adult. But as a kid, I didn't. I didn't know they changed Barbie. So, again, my cousins are like 10 years, 15, 10 to 15 years older than me. Most of them pretty much, I played with their old Barbies, but their Barbies were still in the original clothing, so I thought they were new. I didn't know that every so many months you got new Barbie dolls in stores, okay? I was like 4 or 5 years old, stuff like that, so I didn't know. I had no idea. Um, so I got Island Fun Barbie. I remember they had two or three of her at Rite Aid, and I looked through trying to get one with the best eyes, the thickest hair, and longest hair. So I got one. She was like $8. That was about my last $10 I had out of that 50 because I had bought me a pair of sneakers, a pair of jeans, a plush. I bought a Care Bear. God, I got the purple raccoon, and these they were more recent. But this store. It was a store called Eagle as well, and there were no new Barbies. There was nothing new or modern. This store was really, really old. The floor was wood. You could almost see through the cracks and see the ground through it. I mean, this is a small country town. Um, and so they didn't have anything new or modern. And the people who did, go other places to shop, I mean, there weren't a lot of kids. It's just hard to describe. It was just a small country town in North Carolina where nothing was continuously, their shelving, their clothing was not continuously restocked with brand new what's now. It wasn't like that at all. And so I thought that, they just made the same Barbies. I didn't know they kept, again, continuously making new Barbies. I thought it was always the old one. So anyway, I ended up with Island Fun Barbie. And I, oh God. So we only had a washing machine. The house we lived in had a cow pasture. There was a cornfield. There was a cucumber field. And there was tobacco around. I mean, it was acres and acres of land. I mean, I lived in the country, you know, on a farm. We had barns and everything. So, and then my tropical Barbie, I mean, Peaches and Cream was given to me. She was given to me, so I didn't get her brand new. It was an old Barbie to my cousin, and anyway, she didn't want it. She didn't like Barbies, so I got it, and I even got the two new dresses that she had had with her. But as my parents were going through separation, through divorce, oh, I remember going to Roanoke Rapids. I'm going back. See, I'm kind of going back and forth, but I'm getting there. Okay, stay with me. Stay with me. I mean, this was a very difficult time in my life. I lived with generalized anxiety as a kid. I remember when the school bus would come, my heart be racing. I was mortified. I was terrified to get on that bus with those kids. I was just scared of going to school. I was scared of everything because my parents' marriage was a disaster. Um, Not to get graphic, but my mom had to leave him. He pulled a shotgun on her, threatened to murder her, with me and my brother with her. Um, so my childhood was very traumatic. Okay, so this is the T. It's not good. My childhood was not happy. It was scary. It was scary as hell. And that's what it was. I was living through hell. It was horrible. I was scared of everything. The only thing that made me happy was being in my room and having my dolls. And I only had two. I mean, my cousin Lisa that lived in the area on my dad's side of the family. She had a Superstar Barbie from 1977. That doll was so old, the neck was broke, the arms were broke off. I found it in the woods and kept it. Um, so, this is more difficult than I expected. Okay, moment. I have lemon water. So, as a child, I had to go through therapy sessions because my anxiety was so bad. They thought I had separate personalities as a kid, a little kid. But it was because of the trauma that was happening at home between my parents. My father never wanted children. Okay? I remember my dad was supposed to come pick me and my brother up for the weekend. He was staying at the mobile home. We were living at the house in the country. And I remember my dad had a girlfriend in Roanoke Rapids. And that was the city. That's where they had newer Barbies. So we were there for a weekend, and this girl next door drags out this box of toys that they had in their garage. And she had these Barbies. Well, I thought they were new Barbies, but they weren't. These were old Barbies. She had a Loving You Barbie, a Broken Western Barbie, a Kissing Barbie. Oh God, what was the other one? It was one more. I can't think of her at this time. But anyway, she gave them to me, and I was so happy. I was over the moon. I mean, so she gave them to me. I got to have them. So I was very happy with them. Well, they were at my dad's. My dad, I had the Barbies there. Peaches and Cream was at my dad's. The Barbies I had at my mom's were Island Fun Barbie and Tropical Miko. And I kept her at my dad's because I wanted to have some Barbies that I loved. And this one is a Peaches and Cream Barbie Reroot. So, no, she's not my original. My father, I remember he did not come and get me and my brother for the weekend. They had shared custody going through the divorce. And my mom went to see him, and she told us to wait in the car. I did not wait in the car. I wanted to get my Barbies and bring them with me, but I stopped in the doorway because right as you enter the living room, to the right was the bedroom where my father was, and he was in there with a hangover. And my mom is saying, "Why didn't you come get your kids?" Well, guess what my dad says, and I'm hearing him. My father says, "I never wanted children, okay? You wanted children. I never wanted them, okay? So you got them, you keep them." And I started crying. I was screaming and crying. I couldn't believe I was hearing my father say this. And I'm a kid. I'm a little kid. And my mom was like, "You see that? Selena heard everything you said." And he just didn't care. He didn't care. So my father said I was a mistake. Okay, so there you have the tea. My father said me and my brother were mistakes because my mother wanted us. He did not. He never wanted children. So my father sold that home with all of our things in it. Okay. Me and my brother didn't see or hear from my father for a long time. He ended up with this woman named Tracy. And he tried to be a father to her children. He didn't know how to be a father to his children, being my brother, but he tried to be a father to whatever girlfriend he had. He tried to be a father to their children. Okay? So when I was because of those things, it affected me on a mental level as a child. I would be sitting in class and I would be crying in class. I would be crying. I would just be amazed because I'm remembering what my dad said. When him and my mother were together, he didn't act like that. He didn't show that. I had those cheap Barbie clones, and I used my dad's shoe as her car. I remember taking an old sock, cutting a hole, making her a dress at the top, stuff like that. So that's how I lost those used Barbies, but to me, they were new. They were new to me, okay? So when my dad gave us the money a year later, he took us to Roanoke Rapids. He took us out to eat. But guess what happened? As a child, my anxiety was so bad. When he came to get us, I was doing okay. I was overexcited. And then anxiety just was running all through my body. I was almost shaking. I said, "I'm going to get Barbie and the Rockers. I'm going to get Barbie." And I wanted Barbie and I wanted Dee Dee the redhead. And I wanted Dana, but I could only get two. But when I got to the store, guess what? Barbie and the Rockers was not there. Barbie and the Rockers was not in the store. And I'm like, where are they? Where are they? And I'm asking someone, the woman was like, those dolls came out years ago. We don't sell those anymore. So there you go. That was my awakening. She says they might be with the clearance if we still have some. This was Kmart. Kmart would have stuff on clearance from years ago. So the only Barbie and the Rocker I only found a Barbie and a Ken, but it was the dancing Barbie and the Rockers. I didn't even know they made those. So that was what I wanted because I was growing up with old Barbies from the 80s that my cousins played with, and those dolls they didn't even really play with them. They never changed your clothes, nothing like that. So to me, they were new. So that's what I went in the store when I got a chance to go Barbie to get me a Barbie. I go in there and I'm seeing Barbies and I'm like, wait, what are these? Um, God, what was that Barbie I saw in there? There's Barbies. I saw Cool Clips Barbie, Mystery Squad, um, d- stuff like that. That's what I was seeing, and I didn't like them. Um, but I went to a clearance aisle, and they had a bunch. They had like 2 or 3 aisles of clearance, and I found a dancing Barbie, the Rockers, for like $7. She was on clearance. And then again, the dress in silver, it was like $5. So they had been there for like ages. Their boxes were damaged, so I guess it's like they were cheap too. They'd had them probably about 5 years. I don't know, whatever. So I went to the register to purchase them. My dad says, my dad is like this. I'm like, what? I'm like, I still like doll. I like dolls. And he was like, it's time for you to get out of dolls. Go buy clothes. I'm like, no, you should buy me clothes. But I couldn't say that. I was scared of him. I started throwing up. I dropped the dolls and started throwing up at the register. And I'm just a kid. And then I got sick. I felt this strange feeling. I started sweating. I started shaking. I was vomiting. My brother was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, Dad is not going to let me buy the Barbies. He's not going to let me get Barbie and Ken. Um, so we left, we went, and I got a drink to try to calm my nerves. And it was just horrible. It was hell. It was hell. I could not wait to go home. I couldn't wait to go home. My mom took me and I bought the Hurt Family Mom at this old store called Eagles. I just remembered her. They had her. So anyway, um, moving on. We didn't see my dad for a very, very long time after that. Didn't hear from him. The only thing he gave us of a gift was a picture Bible that his he then married Tracy and decided he wanted to be the father of her 2 children. And all they gave us was a cheap picture Bible book. Do I have it? No, I threw it away a long time ago. I kept it for a long time because it was what he gave me. Uh, so my mom, so we lived in this house on this farm. It had no central heat or air. It had a wood stove in the kitchen. And I'm talking, this is like modern times. I didn't even know about stuff like this. I was like, oh my God, how we gonna stay warm? Like, where's air conditioning? Because the place my parents lived at together, we had central heat and air, you know? This place did not. This was an old house that was abandoned. It was not lived in. But it was the only thing my mom could afford. As a single parent, my dad And I didn't know this. I thought my mom left him, but no, my dad ended up divorcing my mother. They went through court. My dad had a better lawyer. He ended up paying my mom $150 a month for child support for 2 children, $75 a piece for 2 kids. How can any child survive on $75 a month? My mother worked at a flower shop. You know, this is a small town. There's not a lot of options where you can go and get a job. She would make us homemade quilts. She would take bags and bags of scraps her sister would give her. Anyway, they were in her room for a long time. So my mother's sister, who lives in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time, and I had Island Fun Barbie on my bed. And my mom, she called the house. She was like, I need you to go outside, get the clothes in. I want them folded up and put in their place. My mother's sister had also given her these absolutely gorgeous light blue satin sheets, almost the color of Island Fun Barbie's eyes. Let's get this right. But anyway, you get the idea. So guess what I did? I go outside, I get the clothes in, I throw them on my bed, I fold up all the clothes first, then I look at the sheet. The sheet is lying on the bed next to my Barbie doll. And it's like, I was like, oh my God, that light blue satin sheet made her eyes pop. Her eyes were popping, and I was just like, oh, ooh, oh my God, she needs a prom dress. So I take my mother's, the flat light blue beautiful satin sheet, and I cut the entire corner out of it. Told you, okay, as a child I suffered from anxiety issues, and even to this day I take medication for anxiety. I have extreme anxiety now. It's manic. It's crazy. So I cut the entire corner out of my mother's sheet to make her a prom dress, sewed it by hand on her body and everything, set her up on a shelf, and then I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with the rest of the sheet? I bought it, rolled it up, put it under the bed. My mom, I thought I put all the clothing and everything away. I put her sheets and the towels in the closet, the linen closet. About 2 or 3 days, my mom, 2 days passed. My mom's like, where's my satin sheet? Where is my satin sheet? I'm like, I don't know. So we had a lot of Hispanics that were working in the fields, in the cucumber cornfields, and they would always drive by every day. So my mom thought one of them had stole her sheet. Did I tell her what I did? No, are you crazy? No, I'm not going to tell my mother what I did with her satin sheet. I'm not going to say, Mom, I cut up your favorite satin sheet to make my Barbie doll a prom dress. Because my school, I was with elementary school. You would pass by junior high and high school and pick those students up, end up dropping them off before we went to elementary school. Child, let me tell you. I did. I made her dress. I come home from school one evening, and my brother meets me on the porch, and my brother says to me, oh, you're going to get it. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? I walk through the door, and guess what I see? My mom has rearranged the bed. Okay, Barbie doesn't want to sit up. My mother has rearranged our bedroom. And there are 2 long stem switches with the leaves still attached to them, okay? And my mom tells me, pull down your pants, lay across the bed with your arms up. And I did. And she gave me a lashing with the switches. By the time she was finished, it looked like the rainforest had exploded into the bedroom. And then she says, I know you cut up my sheet to make them Barbie dolls a clothes or dress. And I told my mom, I'm like, you just got through whooping me. You are not getting my Barbie dolls. You're not gonna destroy my Barbie. And she didn't. I hid them. I kept them hid. I would hide them ever since then. Things got really bad. Um, I was on my school. I got where my anxiety was so bad. I would take Miko and have her in the side of my book bag. She would like my book bag should be over in one side of it where I could just look and see her or reach in and touch her because my anxiety was just horrible. And one day going home, I had to sit at the back of the bus and there was a boy, his name was Chuck. And Chuck tried to touch me. So I got home and I cried and cried. And the next day I went to school. I had my Barbie with me. I had Miko. She was the first. She was my favorite. She had long black hair, just like me. As you see now, you see the tint. I like my hair now, but it's black. And I had her with me. And when I got off the school bus the next morning, I went straight to the counselor's office. I think his name was Huffman or Hoffman. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I went to him. I was crying. I was scared to be in class. I was scared to be in school. I told him what happened. He went to the principal, told the principal what happened. They called the high school. He was a high school student. They called the high school because I was like I said, I was in lower school. So, but people, high school students, middle school students, elementary, same buses. Small town, okay? This isn't the city. This isn't a big city or anything. And they called the high school, and I went to the high school. I had my book back with me, and we went there, and I had to tell them that they had the bus driver because he was a student. He had a license. They had the bus driver there before they got Chuck into the room, and I had to stand beside the principal. They had a police officer there, and I had to tell them what happened. So when the I think the boy that drove the bus, I think his name was Chris. When he come into the principal's office, he told them, no, they asked him what happened. And he was looking at me. He was like, I don't know. He's like, I know Selena was at the back of the bus. There wasn't any other seats for her to sit in. So she went to the back. I know Chuck was back there. The whole back row, those whole back seats of that school bus, there was only Selena and Chuck there. The next thing I knew, when I was about to turn up the street to where Selena lived, hi Akra, you're gonna have to go back to this video and see the beginning because this is a very hot topic. Because Selena is spilling the tea. In fact, I'm not holding back. I'm just spilling the tea. Okay. Some of my viewers are interested in my life and my childhood story, to how I am the person I am today. And it's deep and it's personal, and I'm bringing it to you live. This, like I said, I did click on the option. This video is not for kids. And he said that he heard Selena say, "Get your effing hands off me. Do not touch me." And I screamed. Everyone in the bus looked. He jumped to the other side. And the bus driver said that. He don't know what happened. He said, I was crying. I was hysterical. I got off the bus. I remember running into my home, my mom's home, lying on the floor beside the bed, crying. And I could not tell her. I was scared to tell my mother the day that it happened. But that day at school, that principal, because I was a minor, the principal told Chuck, said, you are going to be assisted by this police officer to get everything that you have at this school. You are hereforth banned from ever coming on this school. You are being taken to jail for child molestation. And that was what happened with that. my counselor, this counselor, they were really upset with this. I mean, I'm just a little kid, and this man who was 18 was trying to sexually molest me on the school bus on that school property. So he was banned permanently, could never return to school, and he was being arrested, and it was going into a crime, on his record, criminal record. And I was so happy I had my tropical Miko with me. She made me feel safe. She made me feel like I was not alone. And I was scared to go to school. They contacted my mother. They didn't take me back to school. So I started having difficulty. I started, when I did go to school, I started failing everything. I couldn't focus. As a child, I'm dealing with the issues of my father. My parents divorced. My mother's struggling, making ends meet. A father who just abandoned us. And then going through being sexually molested as a child on a public school bus. So that was a lot to deal with as a kid. I'm crying every day in school. It was hard. So time came, we moved to Durham. When we moved to Durham, North Carolina, let me tell you what. I felt freedom. You hear me? I felt freedom. It was like, I could breathe. Do you know what happened when we moved to Durham? When we moved to Durham, North Carolina, my grades improved. I went to Neal Junior High School. I ended up going to junior high school. They were advanced. Oh my God. I couldn't believe the freedom. They had lots of hall monitors, security. Oh my God, the freedom. I just couldn't believe the freedom. When I say freedom, I mean, it felt so not as isolated. We had pizza and fries. You had a choice between what you wanted. It's pizza every freaking day. I loved it. Oh my God, I loved it. I was a bit shy and had some anxieties, but they really went away quickly. Um, I did not know what a rally was when team or stuff. We had spring break. I was a kid in a small town. We didn't have spring break. So yes, things were an improvement until I went to high school. Once I got older, I went to high school. There were two boys that trapped me into an empty classroom that was 2.5 stories. And I was afraid of what happened to me in elementary school was going to happen again or worse. And I had no choice but to run for the window. And I fell 2.5 stories on concrete stairs. I could not walk for 3 months. I was paralyzed. I have constant back pain. Like right now, I am in pain. I ended up getting away from, and it got so bad. There was one boy that liked me. That was not a good thing. He had severe issues. He tried to attack me. Now, everything I'm telling you, my mother can verify these things. It's just like bad things just kept following me. Once I tried to find some peace and hopefulness. But I remember, and I ended up out of day school. I ended up going to EDP, Extended Day Program. So this was for our students who, like me, I was starting to deal with mental health issues where I was having to see a therapist. But I wasn't on medication at that time. So through extended day program, social studies class, I had been there over a year. I got a lot of certificates. I was taking cosmetology. Um, so, I was only a certain amount of hours away from getting my license. My social studies teacher, history teacher, um, the boy went and said something to her one night in class. She called me to her desk. She says, "Get your things. Go to the office immediately." I was like, "Go." She was like, "Just do it." I went to my seat. I got my book sack. I got my books, left the class. I got halfway down the hall. Now, this is on the second story of the high school. I had one, two, three things of stairs to go down. That's right, three. And I look behind me and he's coming after me. I start running. I had never had a panic attack before. I start running. I saw people coming out of the classroom, a teacher. I started running. I'm jumping over steps, running down as fast as I can, literally falling. I started screaming for help. I ran. I grabbed the phone that was downstairs in the office. I dialed 911. I called 911. I called the police at the school. They had a public phone. I grabbed that phone. I dialed 911. I told them I said, I have another student. He's trying to attack me. He's coming after me. I am scared. Where are you? I'm at Durham High School EDP program. I go to extended program. And I got off the phone with them. I called the operator. I called my grandmother because we had just moved to them. My mom didn't have a phone in the house yet. Called my grandmother. My grandmother's calling the police. She got in touch with my mother. I'm telling that was when I had my first panic attack. I'm in the office with them. They're like, what's going on? I can't breathe. I can't get air. My throat is closing in. I am panicking. I'm frantic. I'm crying. My face is red. I'm just freaking out. My mom and her friend, my mom and her friend at that time, her name was Teresa, brought her there. My mom was like, "What the hell is going on? Mom, I can't even talk. I'm just, I am shaking." And then they tell them what's going on. My mom was like, "Where's that boy at? Where is he at?" I had to take a week off of school. When I went back to school, guess what happened? I had to go to the office immediately. The school had to have two police officers on site at all times. I had to have a I had to have a police officer escort me to each and every one of my classes, even go with me to the bathroom. She would go into the bathroom to make sure no one was in the bathroom, stand outside the bathroom while I went to the bathroom for my safety. That's how my life was in danger in high school. My panic attacks started coming frequently, and I tried to commit suicide. I ended up at the hospital. I'm not going to say what I did, what I took, or anything like that, but I had to have my stomach pumped. They sent me to the ward up there. I was there for a week. And they started medication treatment for me. It was Paxil. I mean, it was pink. Um, I'm in 10th grade. I'm going to the 11th grade. And I had been a good student. I was almost ready for graduation. And because I'm having to have police there and everyone is like, friends I had were like, oh my God, Selena, this is crazy. Why aren't they doing something with this boy? He came to attack you in front of everyone, And all they do is get police officers there. I had to have a police officer escort me everywhere. I couldn't handle it. I had no choice but to quit school. I couldn't handle it. My panic and anxiety attacks were so severe. I could not handle it. It was beyond my control. All I could do was want to stay in my room with my dolls. and which was pretty much Barbie. It was all just Barbie. By then, by this time, I had done got Barbie dolls that were up to date, you know? So, now you know my. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, I had a phone call and, I talk about some of this and it gets me emotional. My outlet was Barbie. Oh, great. I didn't smear makeup. Things. You would think things could not get worse. Well, they did. They did get worse. I had to quit school. Um, I lived in fear. I was afraid. We ended up living in the projects. Um, what do they call this? Affordable income through Durham Housing Authority. And so through Housing Authority, unfortunately, when we first got there, they didn't want us there because of our skin color. These teenagers, they would throw rocks at me and my brother when we took the trash out. We would have to sneak out at night. Um, I remember one guy come up to me because I remember at this time, then I was 15. And the boy tried to take my clothes off. He punched me so hard in my face. I have no feeling in my face to this day. Um, and he literally almost knocked me out. I ran in the house, called the police. They didn't do anything about it. Sorry, my cat knows I'm upset. And she's trying to calm me down. Then I was afraid to leave the house. The drug dealers that were in the projects, after a year or 2 or 3, they put a hit on me and my mother's life. Yes, someone paid them to murder me and my mother. I was scared to go out. There was a gunshot that went in the middle of my window. I would stay in my house, sit on the floor, and I played Barbies. So as you see, that is why I have Cabbage Patch Kids. They gave me comfort. I didn't get into American Girl until I started doing videos here on YouTube, repainting them. I started drawing. I started painting. I just couldn't leave the house. I started applying for disability. I ended up in the hospital a few times because with my panic and anxiety attacks, it was so severe I couldn't function. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't work. I was afraid of everything and everyone. It was just too bad. It was horrible living like that. Yeah, I met Shirley. You guys seen her in some of my videos, my friend Shirley. And she would get me into other dolls, but then I ended up meeting my husband. I got married. Not the husband I have right now. But anyway, he got me out of the projects into my own place. I went 3 years without leaving the apartment. I would make a list. He bought everything. I stayed home. I collected Barbies. I was on eBay. Look at all of the rocker Barbies over there. You see that 1, 2, 3. And then I have one right there in the box. And there's another in the box over there. I have a lot of rocker Barbies because I want them so bad growing up. And this here one is the newer one. So, yes, I love the curly hair. I love Barbie and the Rockers, the first edition. Oh my God. So, this is why I don't know, I grew up with 80s Barbies. Those are the ones I played with that were leftovers from my cousins. It was great. Barbie got me through a lot of heartache, difficult times growing up. Do you want to go further? All I need is a heads up. If you want me to go further, I will. because now you're getting the tea. Now you're getting the real me. You're getting to know more depth about me, not only as a person, but as the artist that I am, and why I'm always inside, why I'm pretty much always in my room when I do my dog videos, and always in the apartment. Now you know. I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder. Um, and because of those conditions, I suffer from chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, I take medication on a daily basis. Yes, Deva 7. My dolls have been in an immense amount of comfort. I mean, look at the side of my bed. I just spot her. I mean, I've got Barbie, Cabbage Patch Kids. I have American Girl. I have Our Generation, more Barbies. See, these are the Barbies that came out when I was coming up. So yeah, and I have her, and then like those, and then I have the VIE, another Our Generation. I got my dolls have their own brush, and believe it or not, they stay over there. That's where they are while I sleep. So that was my childhood. I didn't have one. Did not have a childhood. Everything was hard and it was painful and it was hell. It was hell. I'm still in therapy. And right now, yes, I live off welfare. I get food stamps. I was getting 180. They just cut them down to $44. And I have to go back to social. I'm going to social services on Monday to find out why they're cutting it. I went through a review with Social Security Disability because my car accident. Remember, you guys remember my car accident where I was hit from behind? Took 2 years to get a settlement. With the settlement, I bought a brand new car, 2018. So I bought a brand new 2018 car, never pre-owned. So Social Security Disability now is asking questions, things like that. They want to cut my check. So it's hard enough as it is because I can't afford a place of my own. I focus on doctor's appointments and staying healthy. Dogs make me happy. I started repainting them. I started redoing them. Remember, guys, I went through cancer. I've been through lymphoma. Here is my scar. That's my war scar from lymphoma. And then I had my second throat surgery. My scar is here. So I've had 2 throat surgeries. I've went through cancer. I survived that. Car accident. I suffered tremendous head trauma, severe concussion, and I had a bunch of Barbies. I was going to a dog club meeting. So anyway, there it is. My childhood tea. Isn't beautiful. Isn't good. Isn't beautiful at all. But I'm still here. And my way of outlet is through art. It's art. When I make over an American Girl doll, the money I get goes paying on a credit card. I pay on credit card because I had to get credit cards so I could buy my bed, my bedding, and dolls. So someone make over, and then someone's like, okay, I really want to buy that doll. I'm like, okay, I have to make enough money so I can buy the doll, another doll, and pay on credit card. That's what I do. It's not a job. It's a hobby. Because I don't get enough to go and get my own place to live. So doing with dolls helps me be able to accomplish getting clothing and things like that that I need. Yeah, everything I have, I've accumulated over the years. You all know that. So that's my tea. And that's a story behind Tropical Miko, I Love Fun Barbie. Cutting out my mother's sheets to make them clothes. Now buy their fabric. This fabric came from Hobby Lobby. It's an exclusive, beautiful tropical. Works great for them. It looks really great on them. So now you know the story behind my dolls. And trust me, When I tell you, that's only a sample of what I've been through. I have remember, it was on Facebook. I was in ICU, intensive care unit. It's just been just over a year and a few months. I have a complete scar across my entire abdominal area. I suffered severe blood loss. I am anemic at this time. And from that abdominal surgery, I got blood clots in both lungs. I am on blood thinner. And I have to go for lung tests again this year. And not a blood test because right now I'm anemic. And they're concerned about me having to have a blood transfusion. But this is why I can say I know God is real, because He has kept me and protected me. I'm still here. I'm able, through therapy and medication, I'm able to rise up and above, but the scars are still there. The hurt and pain is still there. But to be honest, when I make over dolls and I see the response and I read the comments that the public, my subscribers make about my dolls, you love the dolls that I make over, the things I do, that goes to my heart, not my head. It goes to my heart because I'm doing something positive. I'm trying to take those bad lemons that came through life and I'm trying to sweeten them lemons up and make some good lemonade. I'm a survivor. And like I said, this is only part of my story. But for anyone who has gone through some stuff, I hope that my life can inspire you and let you know that you are not alone. How about that? All right. All right, guys. Again, if you're new to this, I do hope you subscribe to my channel. But this topic, this is why it took so long to do it. Because I talk about it, I talk about the good parts of it. But now you know the truth. You know the ugly truth that's behind it as well. Yeah. But it's okay. Every day, I'm striving to be a better person and a better version of myself. I'm trying. And I thank all of you for being there for me and for our dolls, because we love our dolls and that's what keeps us going. All right? So, love you all. Thank you for tuning in. The good and the bad part of this. Thanks. Wish you the best. Bye.